Since this morning, we've been getting visuals of people fleeing from Nagorno-Karabakh region. These are ethnic Armenians who have called the region home for decades now. Some 3,000, as per reports, have already left. About 117,000 are still mulling as far as their future is concerned. All roads leading up to Armenia are jammed, and from where we see this, the future is looking uncertain. And this is a century-old issue, and it's not just between Armenia and Azerbaijan. There is geopolitics at play. So will Azerbaijan's seizure of the disputed region bring peace, and what will it mean for the people who are fleeing? And most importantly, will this end the proxy wars in the region? Over the next few minutes, we try to read between the front lines. First things first, have a look at this map. On the left is Armenia, on the right is Azerbaijan, but one clear line does not divide the countries. Apart from the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh region, there are 3 landlocked regions of Azerbaijan inside Armenia and 1 region of Armenia inside Azerbaijan. Meanwhile, the capital sits on polar opposites. The dispute started with 3 issues. First, territorial. The Nagorno-Karabakh region used to have 95% ethnically Armenian people, but internationally, it was recognized inside Azerbaijan. Secondly, religious. Armenia is a Christian majority, while Azerbaijan is a Muslim majority country. And third, being domestic politics, of course, leaders on both sides have fueled the issue to appease their vote banks. And over time, disagreements rose, more parties got involved, and the conflict escalated. But the thing is, this kind of long-standing conflict needs flowing money. In the year 2020, Baku spent 5.4% of its GDP on defense, and Yerevan spent 4.9% of its GDP. Just for context, the global average sits at 2.4%. So what really has kept the conflict going? Enter Russia. The country has held a contradictory position. It is the dominant arms supplier to both sides and the main provider of peacekeeping forces. Russia, in fact, accounted for about 94% and 60% of Armenia and Azerbaijan's arms imports. The conflict started with Moscow favoring Armenia. It has a military base in Armenia, and Yerevan is a member of the Russian-led Collective Security Treaty Organization. But over the years, Russia has been turning its attention towards Azerbaijan. That has emerged as a major market for its arms exports. And this is pushing Armenia towards the West.
It has become evident to all of us that the CSTO instruments and the instruments of the Armenian-Russian military political cooperation are insufficient for the protection of the external security of Armenia.
On the ground, the forces of Azerbaijan have taken control of Nagorno-Karabakh, and on paper, this is the end of the conflict. But there is so much mistrust on both sides that the assurances are hardly holding up. Yerevan plans to accommodate those who have been made homeless, and Baku says those who choose to stay back will be treated as equal citizens. And for more on this, joining me on the broadcast is Fred Weir, Russian affairs expert, journalist and political commentator. Thanks very much for being here on the broadcast, Fred. What is the sense that you're getting of the situation on the ground as things unfold, and where do you see the situation really headed?
This is, it seems, the end of Nagorno-Karabakh as any kind of independent or autonomous Armenian entity within Azerbaijan. It's a long story. I've been covering it, in fact, for my entire journalistic career. The war that occurred in 2020, which was an overwhelming Azerbaijani victory, retook all their territories that Armenia had previously occupied, and didn't settle the issue of Nagorno-Karabakh because Russian peacekeepers stepped in, a ceasefire was agreed, and now Azerbaijan, I think, has decided to finish with it, and in a way that's a tragedy for Armenia and a catastrophe for the people of Nagorno-Karabakh, the Armenians, who are being told that they must accept all the rights and duties of Azerbaijani citizenship and let go of any hope of autonomy or even some ethnic sovereignty in their own region, which even in Soviet times they had. Now their choice is stark. You will become an Azerbaijani citizen, and that's will be the source of your rights, or you can go to Armenia. And as you reported, I think a stampede of Armenians from Nagorno-Karabakh has begun. They will flock to Armenia where they can live as Armenians, and Nagorno-Karabakh will revert to being just another province of Azerbaijan.
Yes, as you mentioned, those people fleeing. What about the fear of persecution and ethnic cleansing that the Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh have at this point, and all of that happening while Azerbaijan has said that it will guarantee the rights of those living in the region? Do you see it walking the talk?
I think they've made it clear in Baku that the rights, the human and civil rights of the population of Nagorno-Karabakh will derive entirely from Azerbaijani citizenship. If they embrace Azerbaijani citizenship, all the rights and duties of it, then they can appeal to those rights. But what the people of Nagorno-Karabakh have had for a long time, a century at least, even in the Soviet autonomous region that they lived in, was an Armenian identity, rights deriving from some kind of special status. Even though they were within Azerbaijan in Soviet times, they had rights as Armenians, cultural, linguistic, and civil identity, which is what they wanted when they declared independence at the end of the Soviet Union. There was a war, Armenia won, Nagorno-Karabakh declared independence, a separate statehood, and that's what they have now irrevocably lost. They lost it in 2020 when Azerbaijan won that big war, but now Azerbaijan is not giving any ground on the independent Armenian identity of the place. So anybody who wants to live there needs to call themselves an Azerbaijani citizen and accept whatever rights and duties derive from that. So I think it's clear that most of the people of Nagorno-Karabakh will not accept that deal. And they have good reasons not to, because there is a long-standing, centuries-old hatred between these two ethnic groups. And so therefore you will see them go to Armenia. There is no third way now.
All right, we're leaving it there for the moment, Fred. Thanks very much for being here on the broadcast and sharing those perspectives. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.